Have you ever made a bucket list? They're meant to inspire action, but what if you were faced with making a list of things you'll never get to do? An empty bucket list. I made this type of list when I was just 7 years old. The hardest thing on that list for me at the time was never have another birthday party. I genuinely thought 7 was as far as I was going to get. However, since then, I have had 4 times as many birthdays as I ever thought possible. You can only imagine how much I love birthdays. I celebrate my entire birthday month. I love celebrating other people's birthdays. I am the hype woman of getting older. Every time I have a birthday, I feel reborn. Anything feels possible. This feeling stems from learning at 7 that I'd been given a new chance to live. My empty bucket list was the result of believing to my core that I was going to die. As time was passing, I was getting more and more weak, no longer able to run or even lift my arms above my head enough so my hands could touch. Multiple tests were ran, and doctors had no answer. In a child's eyes, if a doctor doesn't know what's wrong with you, there's no cure. You're done for. Luckily, I was wrong about that. My pediatrician diagnosed me with juvenile dermatomyositis. This is a rare autoimmune disease that affects 3 in a million, is contracted through the skin, and in my case was targeting my muscles. My new chance to live was that there was a solution. The solution was being put on an extremely aggressive dose of prednisone, which are steroids, with the hope that they would act as a retardant to keep my immune system from killing me while building back the muscle that had been lost. Upon starting this high dose, my appetite shot to the moon. I went from 47 pounds to 100 pounds in 1 month. A year after starting this dose, I was making progress in strength, but I still couldn't run. The doctor told me that he didn't know if the weight would fall off as I grew or if it would stay indefinitely. I couldn't believe this might be me forever, and I refused to let that be true. So one day in PE, I decided that I would throw myself out there and try to return to my normal life. In my normal life, I was the fastest kid, by far winning every race. That day in PE, my chubby 8-year-old self took my place on the starting line of a foot race for the first time in a year and a half. Our teacher shouted, "Go!" And for the first time in my life, all I saw was everyone's backs. I was so far behind that the other kids finished and had time to turn around and watch me. As my cheeks were jiggling, my belly was bouncing, I was pumping my arms like crazy, just willing my legs to move. To my surprise, the kids who had finished and were staring at me began clapping, even chanting my name. When I finished, I had the biggest smile on my face. I lied about having to go to the bathroom, and as I walked towards the building, I kept smiling. However, the smile was simply to use my chubby cheeks as a dam to keep the tears from falling. I did my best to smile away the tears until I was able to lock myself in a bathroom stall where I bawled my eyes out. I was crushed. A year, still fat, still slow, indefinitely. What got me through that indefinite stage was the empathy of those around me cheering me on. Empathy is the ability or choice to connect with what others are going through. You do not have to fully understand it or have been through it yourself. Empathy is simply recognizing when someone is going through something and responding to them with gentleness. Empathy is extremely powerful. I know you can change the world for those around you by simply being empathetic. Reacting with empathy takes much less energy than ridicule, blame, judgment, or hate. I have found through my life that giving others empathy not only helps them, it makes you a better, happier human. The truth is, everyone we encounter every single day is going through something. Instead of reacting to what you can see, I encourage you to respond first with gentleness. The little 8-year-old girl inside of me is begging you, please be empathetic. Over the last few years, I've witnessed our culture losing almost all signs of empathy. Oftentimes, we find out one fact about someone and automatically jump to ridicule, blame, judgment, or hate. If they're not with us, they're against us. If they don't agree with us, everything they say is wrong. Oftentimes, we're not listening to each other. We're losing the ability to simply hold civil conversations with each other. However, we can change this trend from becoming permanent in our culture by taking action and becoming the hype people of reintroducing empathy into our culture. A wise man once taught me a simple rule that can be put into action today. This tool is simple and can change our knee-jerk reaction to any situation. I challenge you to use this tool the next time you find yourself reacting to a situation with blame, ridicule, judgment, or hate. As I demonstrate this tool, let's focus on judgment. Every time you point your finger in judgment at someone else, take note of your whole hand. One finger is pointed at the person you're judging, and yet 3 fingers are pointed directly back at yourself. What if the person you're judging reversed roles? What if they were able to judge you on the 3 things in your life you're most ashamed of? Would you want them to judge you as harshly as you're judging them? Or would you hope that they would give you some empathy since they don't know the situation or why you did those things? The same can be used with blame, ridicule, or hate. Reacting to others with gentleness first comes down to a simple rule we learned as children, the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I truly believe if we changed our knee-jerk reaction to be empathy, there would be no more room in the world for hate. Today, I'm asking you to choose to begin responding to others with gentleness. I am challenging you to put something on your bucket list that's bigger than yourself. Inspire the world to be empathetic. We can make the world a better place by simply choosing empathy first.